Florida Keys has reopened. Monroe County officials say all residents and business owners of the Lower Keys will be allowed to return this morning.
However, they did have a warning for everyone coming back. The Keys are not as you left them when you evacuated.
Residents will need to bring their own supplies and be self-sufficient.
CBS 4's Carey joins us live from Key West with the latest. Carey, good morning.
Good morning. Right now, county leaders are getting ready to lift that roadblock at the southern end of Marathon just before the 7-mile bridge to allow residents, business owners, relief workers entry into the Lower Keys and Key West. Right now, US 1 entering Key West is fairly quiet, but soon it will be filled with cars carrying people anxious to return to their homes and businesses. But as you mentioned, city and county leaders want to make sure people know their reality will be different from what it was before. The cleanup is underway in Key West as residents will soon be returning home, but life here will be different.
And I'm afraid, like I said, they're going to come back thinking that things are really back to normal, and they're really not.
Al Phillips owns Viva Saloon on Duval Street. His place doesn't have power yet. About half the island is still dark, and water's available just 9 hours a day. He's concerned about people coming back, taxing an infrastructure that's already delicate.
The city's only half up and running, so you put that many more people on the street, and they're trying to get back to jobs that aren't available for them right now. So that's kind of a tough thing to do.
It's a similar situation in Marathon.
But we got a mess to clean up.
Brian Reinfant and his family returned to Marathon Saturday morning as soon as city and county leaders began letting residents and business owners back in. He found a mess from storm surge.
It was up to here.
And mold in his house.
In another couple more days, it would have been unlivable in here.
On the top floor, flying debris knocked out a window.
You can see how it's cracked here and cracked up there.
His house is standing, and he and his family are well prepared to live there. Some of their neighbors are not so fortunate.
There was 3 trailers there. I don't even know where they are.
City manager Chuck Lindsay said it was a difficult decision on whether to allow residents and business owners to come back home.
We have to balance the need to get our folks home so they can start mitigating damage, and then also the safety.
Back in Key West, Mayor Craig Cates is concerned about the influx of people too. He says it's time, but people have to realize life won't be the same.
Hopefully they just don't pour in here and start asking for services because they're not here yet. We want them to come back and they're going to have to be self-sufficient and get their houses back together, get them cleaned up so they can live in them.
And with all this recovery going on, of course, that's going to have an impact on tourism, the lifeline of the Keys. And I spoke to one woman yesterday who had just returned to Marathon. She works in the hotel industry. She was nearly in tears telling me that if people really want to help the folks in the Keys, what they need to do when they're able to, when the Keys are ready, is to come visit, bring in those tourism dollars. Now, for folks returning to the Lower Keys today, they are asked to bring supplies, food, water, medicine, cleaning supplies. They're being told that, listen, not every place has power. There's a boil water notice underway. People need to be patient. There's going to be lines for food, for gasoline. So there's a lot to be considered on that decision to come back home here to the Lower Keys. We do expect to talk to Key West Mayor Craig Cates live at 7:30 for more on those recovery efforts. Live in Key West, Carey, CBS 4 this morning.